Sorry about this other me behind me, this shadow version of myself. Yeah, lighting's terrible. I do apologise. I just can't be bothered getting out my big light. I do apologise. Okay? Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my June wrap up / July TBR video. Can't believe that June has come and gone already. I mean, well, as of today it's the 29th, so technically it hasn't gone, but when this goes up it will have gone. But June for me has flown over and it's gone so quick. It's kind of like meshed into May, so I've had to get me reading journal out so that I remember what I've read this month. I did take part in the whatever-a-thon, so I did try and get through quite a few books because I set myself a target of 8 books this month, and I have successfully done that. I do believe I have, yeah. Starting with what I've read and finished this month, an author called OJ Warden contacted me on Instagram and said that they had newly released their first ever book of short stories. So this is Short Stories Volume 1 by OJ Warden, and it was free with the link that they sent me, and it was like supernatural and sci-fi short stories, and really liked it. I did only give it 3 stars, and that was purely because I wanted more. Like the stories, especially like the sci-fi stories, because I'm not a big sci-fi reader whatsoever, but I wanted more. I wanted to know more from these stories. They were just so interesting and so imaginative that I knocked it down purely because of my own greed. I just wanted more from these stories. So the author is bringing out a volume 2, I think, coming up soon, which I will definitely be reading. And I did put in my review on Instagram, which if you're not following, you should be. I'll link it down below. I did put in my review that I would like to see like a fully fledged novel, a sci-fi novel from this author. So fingers crossed in the future they do that, because I'll be very interested in reading their books because I really enjoyed the stories. And the next book was my June wrapped up TBR, which was Jane Fallon's Fake and Friends. Really enjoyed this. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I gave it 4 stars, but I did really like it. So it's about Amy. She is at the start of the book working as an actress in New York on a job, and her fiance is back at home, I believe in London, and in that area, and she decides to fly home and surprise him because it's her best friend's 40th birthday that weekend. When she returns home while he's at work, she walks in and she can see that another woman has been living there. Another woman's bits and bobs are all over the show. So she knows he is having an affair, and then she figures out that it's actually with her best friend. So I was just like, what? Like, who would you be more annoyed at, the fiance or the best friend? For me, I think it'd be the best friend. Do you know what I mean? I just think that line should never be crossed. But anywho, it's all about her then trying to like get her life on track before she lets them know that she knows about the affair. And also she like messes with them a little bit and tries to like screw things up for them. So enjoyed it a lot more, as I say, than I thought I would. So yeah, that was that one. All the next books I did actually read or mention in my last vlog, so I won't go into too much detail. The House at the Edge of Magic by Amy Sparkles. Loved it. It was just so cute and just wonderful and full of magic. So yeah, loved it. Aquacorn Cove by Kay O'Neill. just absolutely adorably beautiful and sweet and gorgeous, and you need to read this because it's just perfect. Also read The Perfect Poo. Title explains a lot. A woman, constipated woman, falls in love with the poo that she has when she becomes unconstipated. Short story, very gross, but highly amusing. So yeah. And last but not least was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Absolutely adored it. Will definitely be moving on to the next book in the series, and started watching the Netflix series as well because I enjoyed it so much. Did listen to a few books on Audible in June. So the one that I mentioned in my last vlog was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I did give it 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. I loved the way it was narrated with the Southern accent. It was just absolutely glorious. And just the concept of the protagonist being like middle-aged housewives trying to sort out a vampire. I just thought it was a brilliant idea. So really enjoyed that. The second book I listened to on Audible was The Girl in the Locked Room by Mary Downing Han. So it's a ghost story. It's quite short. I think it was only about 4.5 hours long. Really good. Gave it 3 stars, and it's basically from 2 points of view. So there's a girl who is locked in a room, and then there's another girl who moves into the property that turns out to be the property that this other girl who was locked in the room is locked in. And the girl locked in the room is from a different, like almost like a parallel universe, but she's also a ghost at the same time. And the other girl discovers her, and they can communicate and whatnot, and the girl that had moved into the property is just trying to assist and help the girl that's locked in the room. So that's what it was about. So yeah. And the third Audible book was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. It was written and narrated by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I knew I was going to enjoy it because I absolutely loved her book The Poet X. I don't know if it's because it's her work, but I feel like because it is her own work, that it's just narrated like perfectly. It's just perfection. It's just so good. So With the Fire on High is about Imani. She has had a child while she's still in high school, so she has to make loads of hard decisions about, you know, where she wants to go in life. She wants to be a chef, but obviously she's got to put a daughter first, and money's tight. She lives with her grandmother who supports or looks after her and her daughter, and she's trying to like not have any distractions either, so she's like trying to stay away from boys and whatnot. She needs to catch up on basically work that she's missed when she had to be off with a child. So it's just lovely seeing her navigate through her life. Basically, it's not like, it doesn't go on for ages, but like all the way through her life, but it's just a small snapshot of her life and the direction that it's heading in because of her love and passion and just natural skill with food. So it was just lovely. Just give it a listen because it was so good. I think she's fast becoming my favourite author to listen to on Audible, like by far. It's just tremendous. Love it. And the last book that I read in June is Junji Ito's Love Sickness. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like, how does he come up with such creepy, grotesque, horror-filled stories? Like, I just don't understand it. Really enjoyed it. I loved the story of the beautiful boy at the crossroads, and what was the name of the siblings? Those like creepy siblings at the end were just crazy. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 5 stars because it was just so good. So good. liked it a lot. I am still currently in the middle of a couple of books that I just picked up once I finished Fake and Friends, because the month of June was still not over. So the first one is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I'm reading this as part of the Back to the Classics challenge. I did do a video about this, so I'll leave it in the sky somewhere, and I'll leave the link to the creator on Instagram in the description. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I started annotating it as well because I was enjoying it so much. I love like old language, like, you know, historic language. I just love it, like really enjoy it. The fella, Victor Frankenstein, though, that creates the monster, I'm not too far into it and he's annoying me. To be honest, I feel like, because he's obviously telling the story of what's happened, so he's giving the backstory to how he got to the point of creating a monster from body parts, and I feel like it's just one big pity party, like woe is me, and I'm just like, no, I'm not buying it. I'm afraid, Victor. So he's probably going to do me head in. But I'm still enjoying it. As I say, I love the language, and yeah, I want to see what happens with the monster. My dad's read it and he said he just feels really, really sorry for Frankenstein's monster. But yeah, in the middle of reading that and enjoying it so far. And the second book I'm still reading is the first book from the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. I hope I'm saying that, probably not, I do apologise, but I'm really, really liking this. I'm only up to chapter 18 so far, and it's given me like Shadow and Bone mixed with Stranger Things, set in the future in a world where humans have completely decimated the earth. Like, they're the vibes that I'm getting. But it's basically about a teenage girl who has been surrendered by her parents to the powers that be, and she has a power, an ability to kill, basically, and the powers that be, by the looks of things, want to use her for their own needs and to strengthen their own powers. Not powers, but power over the rest of society. So I'm hoping that she's going to escape with one of the soldiers, is what I'm hoping, but I don't know yet. But yeah, as I say, I am enjoying this so far, so yeah, should be finished with that soon. Moving on to the books I'm going to be reading in July. There's not too many, just because I am still reading those two books. The first book on this month's TBR list is my July wrapped up TBR book, which is The Manitrust by Jessie Burton. So I did read another one of Jessie Burton's books, and I ordered this while I was partway through that book that I was really enjoying at the time, but then the ending of that book just absolutely ruined it for me. So I just hope that I'm not like disappointed by this book, but it sounds really interesting. So it's about a lady who gets married and her husband gifts her a replica of their home that they live in, and he employs a miniaturist to decorate and furnish the miniature house, and she notices that things are kind of like reflecting what's going on in the miniature house in the actual house, kind of thing. So I think it's a bit of like a thriller kind of thing. I don't know, but I just hope that it doesn't let me down. Just don't let me down, please. I feel like this book has been on multiple TBRs because I've been wanting to read it for so long and just never getting around to it. But yeah, it's V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Not going to go into too much detail about it because I feel like everybody and the dog has read it and I'm just so late to the party. But it's basically about Addie LaRue. She makes a deal with the devil to live forever, but nobody will ever remember her name, who she is. So I'm assuming she can't form meaningful relationships because people forget her basically as soon as they meet her. I'm guessing is what it's all about. I've just heard amazing things. I think everybody, you know, has read it. I feel like everybody's read it, and for the most part have really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm definitely like, this is going to be my priority for July without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, because it's been going on for far too long that I haven't read this book. So it's my priority. Next book on the TBR is Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet. I feel like I'm saying Scion right, but I'm not 100% sure, so if I'm not, just ignore me. But this was in a Fairy Loot box, I think, for, was it May? Might have been May's box. Absolutely beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And it's basically about Sloane, who's a 15-year-old girl. She has the ability to incinerate an enemy at will. So she's basically been keeping her power, her ability under wraps, and then she gets conscripted into the Lucis army, and she decides she's going to use, or her position, she's going to use her position within the army, or get to a position within the army, so that she can defeat her enemies and the people who murdered her mother. So it just sounds really, really interesting. So that is the next book on the list. It's just gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Just love it. So last on the list for the reads that I definitely want to get to this month is Saga. So I did buy this in May, and I did plan on reading it in May, and then I didn't, and then I put it on my June TBR and didn't read it. So definitely want to get to it this month. It's just amazing looking, and I think I'm going to really enjoy the story. So definitely want to get to that. And then as part of my maybe list, I've only got a couple of books, but Saga Volume 2 is on there, because I do just want to get through this series, because I know I'm going to really enjoy it. So definitely want to do at least Volume 1 this month, at least. And then if you watched my last vlog, then you'll have seen that I picked up the first 3 books in the Hamish Macbeth series. So I've put the first book on my maybe list along with Saga Volume 2. So it's basically about Hamish Macbeth, who is a constable in his local area, and he investigates the death of a woman, I believe. So yeah, that is a maybe for this month. So that's all the books for this video. I feel like the lighting's terrible. I've been sitting here for ages. I've aged about 50 years. But we got through it in the end. So that is everything for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, then please subscribe. Bye!